I still remember the exact second the knife slipped. Not in the kitchen, though God knows I've dropped enough blades in my time, but right there on the stainless steel pass, phone glowing like a lit fuse. The text from my mother hit my eyes before I could brace, "Don't bring the children to the reunion. They make Elena's kids uneasy. It's better this way." Uneasy. My 8-year-old daughter, Maya, was 10 feet away, perched on an upturned crate beside the walk-in cooler. She was hunched over butcher paper the size of a tablecloth, tongue poking out, drawing the biggest, brightest, "Welcome Cousins" banner anyone had ever seen. Crayons scattered like confetti. Balloons, rainbows, stick figures with arms linked. Every few seconds she'd glance up, eyes shining. "Dad, do you think they'll put it right by the big windows, so the light hits the glitter?" I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. Then I flipped the phone face down so hard the clack echoed off the tiles. My throat closed like someone had cranked a garrote. I pressed my palm to my mouth and let out a sound, half scream, half sob, that I prayed the exhaust had swallowed. Maya tilted her head. "Grandma again. Did she say yes to the banner?" I forced air through my teeth. "She's excited to see everybody." The lie tasted like ash. She beamed and went back to coloring hearts around her name, Maya R. The R looped huge and proud, like she was claiming space no one could take away. That was the hook. That was the moment I realized I'd spent 41 years cooking for people who would rather starve than sit at the same table as my daughter. My name is Elias Reyes. I'm 41 now. Executive chef and part owner of Sol y Sombra, a 38-seat tasting menu spot in Chicago that earned its first star last spring. My husband, Mateo, runs the pastry station. His almond croissants make critics cry. We have 2 kids, Maya, 8, adopted from Mateo's sister's line when she couldn't keep her, and Caleb, 12, my biological son from a marriage that ended before either of us knew who we really were. To my parents and my sister Claudia, though, Maya is the extra one. Caleb is the boy from before. They smile tight when we walk in, then talk over us like static. I've paid their car notes, their roof repairs, their holiday tables. I've wired money when Dad's arthritis flared and he couldn't grip a wrench anymore. I've listened to Claudia complain about private school tuition while I signed checks so her kids could wear uniforms with the right crest. And every time, I told myself, they're just traditional. They'll come around. Blood is blood. Blood is blood until it isn't convenient. The reunion idea came from me. Dad's 70th. Mom and Dad's 45th. Cousins scattered across 3 time zones. The restaurant had a monster quarter. I could finally give them something extravagant instead of another envelope. I booked the Oak Grove Country Club, grand ballroom, crystal chandeliers, lawn that rolls down to a pond where kids could chase fireflies. Deposit, $24,000. My card. My signature. My dream of one night where my children weren't footnotes. We planned in the family thread. Claudia wanted no weird sauces. Mom wanted normal food, nothing too spicy. I adjusted menus, swallowed every dig about your fancy chef life, and pictured Maya running barefoot across grass with cousins who might finally call her by name. Then the text started. First one at 9:14 p.m., mid-service. Forgot to say, leave the kids home. Claudia's are sensitive. They get confused. I read it behind the pass while plating scallop crudo. The tweezers trembled. Second one, 10 minutes later, it's not personal, Elias. Your arrangement makes things hard for them. We just want peace. Arrangement. I typed OK and hit send before the nausea could reach my fingertips. Then I walked to the office, shut the door, opened the club portal on my laptop. Event. Reyes family gathering. Status, confirmed. Deposit held. Cancellation policy, full refund if requested before July 20th. We were July 18th. My cursor hovered over cancel. I thought of Maya's banner still drying on the prep table. Caleb's new button-down hanging in his closet, tags still on because it's for something special. I thought of every holiday photo where my kids stood on the edge of the frame, smiling like they knew they were temporary. I clicked. Reason, personal circumstances. Refund pending, $24,000. Confirmation email pinged like a timer going off. I printed it, folded it into my recipe binder between laminated sheets of Beurre Blanc ratios, and went back to service. I told no one. Not Mateo. Not the kids. Not even myself, really. I just kept cooking. 2 days later, between lunch rush and dinner prep, I called the restaurant's events lead. Block August 10th, private family dinner. 25 covers max, kids welcome. She laughed. You finally eating your own food, chef? Something like that. I sent quiet invites to the people who'd actually shown up for us: Aunt Rosa, who'd driven 4 hours to Maya's adoption hearing with a cake; Cousin Javier and his husband, who taught Caleb how to ollie on a skateboard; a few line cooks who'd become uncles by choice. No fanfare. Just dinner at Sol y Sombra. Bring the little ones. No dress code. The day arrived gray and heavy with rain. Mateo woke me with coffee and that look he gets when he knows I'm hiding something. You were up at 3 a.m. again. Prep brain, I lied. He kissed my temple. Prep brain doesn't stare at ceilings like the world ended. I almost cracked then. Almost showed him the cancellation printout. Instead I whispered, Mom texted. Asked me not to bring the kids. His whole body locked. To the reunion you financed? I nodded. He didn't yell. Mateo never yells. He just goes quiet in a way that fills the room. And you're still planning to go stand up there and toast them? I handled it. He searched my face. What did you do, Elias? You'll see. By early afternoon my phone was vibrating itself off the counter: Mom, Claudia, even Dad, whose calls are rarer than a perfect soufflé. I silenced them all. We drove to the lake instead. I fired up the portable grill, flipped burgers while rain hissed on the lid. Mateo turned leftover tart shells into open-faced berry pies right there on the picnic table. Maya and Caleb raced to skip stones farther than each other, laughing so hard they forgot the time. Every so often Maya would glance at her watch. We should head to the club soon, right? I don't want to miss the banner hanging. My heart folded in half. We're good here today, Mija. This is our party. At 4:12 p.m., Claudia FaceTimed. I stepped behind a tree to answer. Her face was red, mascara streaked. What the hell did you do? The club says there's no reservation. Mom's hysterical. Everyone's standing around like idiots. I kept my voice level. I know. You know. People flew in, Elias. Kids in dresses. What do we do now? You do whatever you want. There's Northwest event at Oak Grove. I canceled it. Silence. Then a shriek. You canceled. You stole the deposit. I refunded my own money. My name. My card. My contract. You're unbelievable. You're ruining everything over one request. One request, I echoed. To exclude my children from a family gathering I paid $24,000 to host. Claudia's kids get anxious. You know how they are about changes. About your situation. I felt the cold settle in my spine. Have it at the food court. Here's $20 for nuggets. I held a crumpled bill to the camera, then pocketed it. That's the last generosity you're getting from me. She screamed something incoherent. I ended the call. When I walked back, Mateo was watching. How ugly. They're at an empty ballroom. A ghost of a smile. Poetic. The storm broke that night. Mom and Dad showed up unannounced at our building. I opened the door but blocked the threshold. Mom pushed forward anyway. How could you humiliate us? Aunt Rosa flew from Phoenix. We ordered Domino's in the parking lot like teenagers. Do you know what that felt like? I met her eyes. Ask me how it felt to be told my daughter makes people uneasy. Ask me how it felt to watch her draw a welcome sign for grandparents who'd rather she disappear. Dad cleared his throat. You overreacted. We raised you better than petty revenge. You raised me to pay bills, I said quietly. You never raised my kids at all. Mom's voice cracked. You're choosing strangers over your own blood. I'm choosing my children over people who only love the parts of me that write checks. They left without a goodbye. No hug for Maya peeking from the hallway. No wave to Caleb frozen on the stairs. 2 months later, on the original date, we filled Sol y Sombre with the family that chose us back. No chandeliers. Just candles on push-together tables, kids' drawings taped to the walls, Maya's banner finally hung above the bar, glitter catching every light. Mateo plated desserts family style. Caleb taught Javier's son how to spin a pizza dough. Maya sat on Aunt Rosa's lap and told her every detail of the lake day. No toasts about heritage from people who'd never asked about homework. Just laughter. Real, messy, loud. My parents still don't speak to me. Claudia blocked us everywhere. The group chat is a graveyard. But every night when I lock up, I look at that banner, faded now, edges curling, and I feel something settle. I didn't burn the bridge. I just stopped carrying everyone across it. If someone told you your kids weren't welcome at a table you built, paid for, and carried, would you still stand there holding the door open? Or would you finally walk through it with the only people who ever really belonged? Let me know in the comments. I read every one.